And that's what the right voice does for you.
Oh, bother.
Actor Sterling Holloway, who had provided the voice for the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland, was cast as Winnie the Pooh.
To be in the same recording studio with Sterling Holloway was a great treat. I mean, the man was a consummate artist. I used to watch the way he performed. He used to underplay his lines. He would do them so softly and so easily.
Hello. Am I glad to see you? It's more friendly with two.
Sterling Holloway was just, well, I was going to say he was a teddy bear. He was like Pooh. He was the human version of Pooh. And Paul Winchell is just a genius.
Incredible talent, whimsy, timing, all the things that require a personality to bounce out of the screen. Paul Winchell has it. When he gave voice to Tigger, he really did something special.
Hey, this is a cinch.
You come in and you look at all the characters on the wall. You try to see whether you can match some kind of a voice quality to the pictures that you see. I was instructed that Tigger was a very exuberant kind of a character, and that at the same time, he was a very humorous kind of a character. So I tried to put together exuberant, which was a guy who was very excited, you know, all the time, and just with his laugh and everything. The thing that I enjoyed most about the character, I really can't put it into words, but I like Tigger. There's a certain quality that I feel that I became identified with in my own mind, so that instead of just reading the lines, I would always ad-lib. I would always throw in something, like I threw in one day that, well, TTFN, ta-ta for now.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Howard Morris, who was a regular on TV's Your Show of Shows and played Ernest T. Bass on The Andy Griffith Show, provided the voice for Gopher.
The gopher was a character. We decided to give him a funny characteristic, and that he whistles through his teeth.
It certainly is. I'm working the swing shift, you know.
Ralph Wright was one of the story guys, and he had a real keen, deep voice. And we wanted Ralph to do the voice for the donkey, and so we recorded it. So he is the voice of Eeyore.
Thanks. There's not much of a tail, but I'm sort of attached to it.
John Walmsley, who starred as Jason on The Waltons, was one of 3 actors who provided the voice for Christopher Robin.
I was 12, actually 11 when I did Christopher Robin. And the character was basically me. Christopher Robin is a little English boy, and I was a little English boy. So I was basically playing myself at the time.
Hello, Christopher Robin.
Oh, thank goodness you're safe.
Sebastian Cabot, who was familiar to American TV audiences as Mr. French on A Family Affair, was cast as the narrator.
Now, honey rhymes with bunny, and bunny rhymes with,
Rabbit?
Other voices included character actor John Fiedler as Piglet.
Oh, for a bear of very little brain, you sure are a smart one.
And multi-talented Hal Smith, who played Otis on The Andy Griffith Show, provided the voice for Owl.
Someone has pasted Piglet on my window.
well, who to?
After the dialogue was recorded, the animators could begin the task of bringing the characters to life. Once the pencil animation was approved, the drawings were traced onto clear celluloids and painted. These were photographed against the hand-painted backgrounds, 1 frame at a time, to create the final footage. Here is a reconstruction of Tigger's song, tracing the evolution from storyboard through pencil animation to the final color footage.
The wonderful thing about Tigger, it singeth a wonderful sing. The tops are made of the rubber, the bottoms are made of the strings. The bouncy, trouncy, flouncy, pouncy, fun, 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 fun. But the most wonderful thing about Tigger is I'm the only one. I'm the only one. The wonderful thing about Tigger, it singeth a wonderful sing. The tops are made of the rubber, the bottoms are made of the strings. The bouncy, trouncy, flouncy, pouncy, fun, 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 fun. But the most wonderful thing about Tigger is I'm the only one. I'm the only one.
Buddy Baker wrote, arranged, and conducted the musical score to complement the songs written by the Sherman Brothers. As with Sergei Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf, Baker designed it so that different musical instruments represent each of the major characters. On February 4th, 1966, Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree was released theatrically. Shortly afterwards, Walt started production on the second featurette, Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, but he did not live to see the fulfillment of his prophecy about the popularity of the Pooh characters.
3 years later, we put out the second Winnie the Pooh, which was Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day.
And it won the Academy Award.
Not only did it win the Academy Award, it was a very, very, very successful featurette, and Winnie the Pooh became like an established Disney character. I mean, he was as fully accepted around the world as any of the previous characters had been. That was, in a sense, a tribute to Walt Disney, too, because it came out after Walt's death, of course, and yet it was something he had personally been very much involved with. So, although he wasn't there to supervise it, Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day was Walt's last great achievement. And now people refer to it as another Walt Disney masterpiece.
In keeping with Walt's original intention, the first 3 shorts were combined into a full-length feature in 1977.
Everybody involved in this property knew the end of the feature was going to be Pooh and Christopher Robin saying goodbye. We never ever put it into any of the featurettes because it was too concluding, it was too ending. A few years later, they were going to do a longer version of Pooh, and then they were going to animate and complete the last sequence. It's very touching and very sentimental. It's a little boy saying goodbye to his childhood, his basic childhood.
This was my first exposure to that story, and I didn't know what was coming. Got to that, and I'm reading this dialogue and just completely lost it. And that's what you hear in the show. And when I saw this as an adult, I thought, man, that's like the best scene I've ever done, because it was totally real.
You know something, Pooh? I'm not going to do just nothing anymore.
You mean never again?
Well, not so much. Pooh, when I'm away just doing nothing, will you come up here sometimes?
You mean alone? Just me?
Yes. And Pooh, promise you won't forget me? Ever?
Oh, I won't, Christopher. I promise.
Not even when I'm 100?
How old shall I be then?
99. Silly old bear.
Disney has to be credited for bringing the popularity of Milne's story of Winnie the Pooh to the American public.
There's certainly an honesty and an innocence to these Pooh characters. They aren't putting anything over on anybody. They don't try to put anything over on each other. They're very honest with each other. I think they believe in each other and care for each other. And I think that the kids could get a wonderful lesson from that, so can grown-ups.
Pooh is the essence of childhood adventure, childhood imagination, a childhood fantasies. It's the perfectly safe world. Everybody is nice. They're all characters. They're all peculiar. Rabbit's very fastidious and fussy, and Owl is a windbag. He talks all the time, but they're all lovable. They're all wonderful. And Pooh, of course, is a bear of very little brain, but he's all love. And it's safety, and it's purity, and it's something I wish we all had more of in this world.
We never will forget our hero of the wet, our quick-thinking, unthinking Pooh Bear. And faithless who indeed helped out a friend in need, but truly they're the heroes of the day. So we say, hip, hip, hooray for the Piglet and the Pooh, Piglet and Pooh.
What's all that stomping and singing and silly shenanigans?
And generosity, hip, hip, hooray, hip, hip, hooray, hip, hip, hooray for Winnie the Pooh.
And Piglet, too.